Good evening, guys. How are we all doing? So Dan from Trading with Dan here. This is our Bitcoin evening wrap. So if you guys wouldn't mind smashing that like button, and we will go straight over to those Bitcoin charts. So yeah, on the daily chart, as you can see, just a fantastic move up to the level that I actually drew in a couple of days ago. Just sort of the mid of this zone. It corresponds with a few of these highs and a bit of this price action here. If you zoom in, you can see it a bit clearly. But yeah, so it is basically the middle of our 12 to 14k range, roughly 13k. So I believe that is the range that we are now playing in. So as you can see, there's a pretty obvious horizontal here. And you guys know I'm expecting a back test of sorts, but this is quite far away from price action now, about $1,000. So I mean, do we just continue upside and do we just continue up a few more $100 and then try to consolidate around this level? I mean, that is quite likely. That is quite likely, unless obviously we get dragged down by some crazy stock market moves. Also, I just want to have a quick whiz over to that bi-weekly. So you can see as soon as we started trading above the 9, the body of the 9 candle, that's when we got the acceleration up after basically we fully negated, after we fully finished the sell-off from that bi-weekly 9. So that it is nice to see this played out exactly how we have been talking about for quite a long time, that we were just expecting a few weeks of sideways to down, and then yeah, moved back up, took out the high, and then accelerating to the upside. So that is all working out particularly nicely. Obviously 4 hour, you can see we've got we were up at resistance with a 4 hour 9. So yeah, sideways to down from here. But yeah, at some point we're gonna have to have a pullback and a back test. I don't necessarily think we are, after such a strong move up, we're gonna have much of a pullback, because there's going to be people that are going to want to buy into this market and going to be shorts that are trapped. So there's going to be buying pressure until we do consolidate sideways for a bit, and then maybe we could see a back test of one of the levels, be it this level if you trade higher, or be it this level. But yeah, things generally looking good. I mean, all we really need to know, obviously we had some PayPal news come out today. We had some inverse PayPal FUD come out today. But yeah, I mean, this is really the deal. This is the story of what is going on. It is this move down in the dollar. As you can see, it is a nice move down. This is, guys. So yeah, things were looking hairy for the dollar. I kind of said we were touch and go at this level. We needed to basically lose this level and not bounce from this level. And if we did, then things would start to look particularly bearish for the dollar, which they basically have. And yeah, bit of an inverse head and shoulders there, broken down to basically the level you pretty much expect that to break down to. So yeah, things looking very stimulusy is what I'll say. Things are looking like basically we got stimulus coming, and if we haven't got it coming soon, we're gonna get a bigger stimulus later. So yeah, we've sort of got a level here. Look, as you can see, we're getting supported out on the 4 hour 9, incidentally. So yeah, sideways to up from here. Maybe we come and back test it, because this level looks pretty significant as well. Maybe we come and back test the 92.8. But ultimately, trend is your friend, and well, look like we're going down. Look like we're going back down again. We did look like we were looking bullish for a moment. We did put in a nice higher low relative to this low, but as soon as we lost that, yeah, you can see what happened. We tried to put in a little bounce there, and as soon as we lost that level, we lost this level, and then we lost this level. And yeah, I mean, we lost that level, but we've regained it. But we are gunning for some nice lows here, guys. Obviously, we've got this target we're drawing in first, and then we've got ultimately we've got the two fat ladies. We've got the 88s down here. So yeah, that is what I believe is happening. That is the name of the game. Stock markets, funnily enough, not really having a spectacular day. I mean, I have kind of spoke about the dynamics of what I believe is going on here. People actually need to get their money in their hands before they can start actually buying the calls and pumping the stocks up, all those Robin Hoodies. So that has to happen. Obviously, currency markets are not driven by people that are waiting to get a check in the post or some enhanced unemployment benefits. Currency markets are traded by professionals with lots of money who can make their decisions. So as a result of that, currency markets are making their moves before stock markets are. So yeah, and then obviously Bitcoin being a potential currency, is making its move, obviously in line with well, the inverse correlation to the dollar, in line with what you'd expect it to do. So yeah, and we do have big players playing in the Bitcoin space. That again isn't people waiting for their stimulus check or enhanced benefits to then buy Bitcoin. Maybe the altcoins. I was talking about this with someone. Altcoins are not something big players tend to get too involved in. That is something that the crypto degens, the people on the are getting the stimulus checks and enhanced benefits, that is a market that they play in. So again, that market has not really made any spectacular moves yet, because they haven't got the stimulus checks yet to then go and buy those coins. Obviously, Bitcoin, a more professionally traded market by people that aren't waiting for stimulus checks, has moved. Currency markets has moved. Stock markets, not so much. Obviously, stock markets are professionally traded, but you can't underestimate the weight of money from basically the Robin Hoodies that is actually driving the stock markets. And that weight of money isn't quite there yet. But yeah, so that is what all I wanted to say on those. Let's have a look at gold and silver. Obviously, gold not looking too bad here, coming up on a 4-hour 9. Silver not looking too bad. I mean, these haven't reacted too much, in all fairness. You can see by looking at them, we are coiling up and waiting for a some sort of a move, be it to the upside or be it to the downside. Gold silver ratio still looking bearish as well. Bitcoin dominance has absolutely whammied our resistance line, but it has run into a 4-hour 9. Obviously, we know we had the daily daily 9 incoming in a couple of days, so that could potentially be a catalyst. Yeah, so Bitcoin dominance is obviously doing great fantastic things for if you're an inverse altcoin hodler, so i.e. you're short these guys. Yeah, this is doing exactly what you'd want it to do, but obviously lots of us hold altcoins, so it's not necessarily doing what a lot of us want it to do. But yeah, if we have a look at it on the daily, it is a pretty significant burst up. You can see it does seem like well, yeah, they're getting ready for a big Bitcoin move, but we haven't had a big Bitcoin move. Are we expecting this to continue blasting all the way up to 14k? Well, potentially over the next couple of weeks, but I just don't see it getting straight up to 14k. I mean, it could very well do. We are now in this new range of 13 to 14k, but realistically we could play 12 to 14k, but we could realistically play in the 12 to 13k range for a bit. Maybe have a fake out to the downside for a couple of days, then trade back up to the top, trade this top side, and then yeah, just play in this whole 2k range for a bit. That is what I see as the most likely scenario. And obviously we'll then have a higher value relationship to this price action here, so it will all be honky-dory in that respect. So yeah, but stochastics have been telegraphing this move. We have been talking about probably the past 2, 3, 4 days, 5 days maybe even, how these were looking pretty aligned now, like a full house of perfectly upwards suggesting stochastics. So yeah, we'll have a quick whiz through them. 4-hour obviously still up there. 10 hour is curling over a little bit. 12-hour got some room to run. Daily turned back up again. 2-day pretty toppy. 3-day got room to run. 5-day got room to run. Weekly got room to run. So yeah, like I said, it's all pretty much good. But yeah, at some point we're going to see some consolidation, maybe a back test. That is all I'll say. At some point, at what point that will be, from what level it will be, that will obviously be what we'll have to observe in real time. But things are looking good, guys. Things are looking good. Bitcoin, I feel that Bitcoin has been pinned down from basically, I mean, to get up to here. Way back in 2017, the difference the world is now. Bitcoin should realistically be 50k, shouldn't it? At least, I mean, we can all probably agree on that. But again, just look at the precious metal markets. They've been pinned down forever as well. I mean, let's take for example silver. We'll look at silver compared to its all-time highs, because you may say, oh well, you couldn't short Bitcoin prior to the CME, the futures, but obviously, yeah, that's a fact. And as soon as you could short it, it came down. But you've always been able to, well, not always, but you've been able to short, always been able to short silver. And if we have a look at the silver on the weekly, on this weekly, you can see we've been a lot higher in silver before, and you were able to short silver at this point, and yeah. Silver is nowhere near as high, so yeah, it managed to pin this market down. And just think of the difference between then and now. I mean, just think how much silver is used in actual all the modern day technology compared to well, I mean, I do know we had modern day technology in 2011, but we have more electric cars and things like that, don't we? So electronics and stuff. I mean, a lot more, but we definitely have a lot more electric cars, but yeah, more electronics. And yeah, so yeah, we've not reached that high, and obviously we've got all the money printing, all that, all those shenanigans going on. So yeah, Ethereum. Let's have. I forgot about our friend Ethereum. Don't really need to be looking at you on a weekly chart. But yeah, as you can see, Ethereum looking good, obviously not looking anywhere near as good as Bitcoin. But yeah, we've got, I think once we take out this horizontal, we will be back in full bull mode. And then I think we'll start to see a lot of alts then to recover once we get Ethereum looking good and bullish again. If we have a look at Ethereum, the Satoshi pairing, as you can see, Satoshi pairing is looking like a bear flag. So yeah, read into that what you will. We could be seeing lower, but as you see, we've got this low bounce up, this low bounce up, this low bounce up, this low bounce up, and this is an even deeper low. So you'd expect a bounce up, and then one of these bounce ups, could we get follow through and continuation to the upside and onwards and upwards potentially? But again, we'll have to watch that in real time. So yeah, back over to the 4 hour, just have a quick look at the little bit of price action, the movement we got going on here. Obviously this is the next level. Take out this 4 hour 9, we could very realistically see about the 14k, play in this zone a bit, but I think maybe we'll break above this. If we are going to stay the full bullish scenario, is you break above here into the 13ks nicely, hold 13k, trade sideways, if maybe a few weeks below them, then continue over the next few days or weeks, proceed to around 14k. I mean, there is obviously downside to look for, but when with a strong move like this, you're gonna have to play out some sort of consolidation before we're realistically going to see a move down, put in some bearish divergences and some RSIs and MACDs, and then yeah, we may see a move down. But I don't think we'll see that unless we see stock markets whacked. I don't think stimulus is not coming, so therefore I think stock markets are not going to get whacked. And yeah, that is the view. So yeah, that is it, guys. Remember, this is not a financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, so always do your own research, and I will speak to you guys in the morning.